Vorne durch den Schandel gefischt hat, Evangelium attestiert, und dann Today's Gospel reminds us that Jesus wants really a sincere faith in Him. Not those who call me Lord, Lord are going to enter the kingdom, but only those who do the will of the Father who is in heaven. And when we look at those words, Jesus is the expression of the will of the Father. I come not to speak of my own, but I come to speak what I have heard from the Father. Who listen to the words of Jesus and act upon them is like a man who builds a house on a solid foundation. In the first reading today, Moses, before he departed his work, gathered his people, and he said to them, I have one thing to tell you. I have God's blessing on one side, I have God's curse on one side. He said, God's curse? Well, you curse yourself, for I receive blessing according to what I do. For every action there is with it, bring whatever responsibility that we have, bring an effect. And we know that Moses said, if you observe God's commandments, if you continue to do what He asks of you, God will bless you. I'm seeing today the second graders here with their parents. One of the commandments is Sunday Mass. You wonder why we see what we see in the families today? My dear people, Sunday Mass is not if or but. It's something that God wants from us. If we do that, He will bless us. Because He sees our efforts, how much we want to love Him. If you don't observe the commandments, then you have to face the music. And that's why I go in the second reading today, and we hear St. Paul speak of the same subject. His letter to the Romans, although addressed to the Romans, people who are living in Rome. Among them, because Peter took with him some of his disciples, they were some Jews. And they were telling the new converts from Rome that unless they become Jews and observe the Mosaic law, they cannot be saved. And today, St. Paul hammered on that and said, justification comes to us by the redemption of Jesus Christ alone. We are saved because of what Jesus did on the cross. Mosaic law, not Mosaic law, the law is not going to save you. Only Jesus is going to save you. And faith in Him, by that blood that He shed for you, is going to bring you salvation. And if you really believe, and that is the secret of St. Paul, if we really believe in this Jesus who comes from the Father, our actions has to be love. Our actions has to be overflow of that faith we have in Jesus. And that's why today I am going to make the appeal to you for the House of Charity. When we speak about the House of Charity, it's an organization within the diocese that really is concerned about the needs of the 6 counties in our diocese. There are 6 counties that the Diocese of Camden is composed of. And each one of these counties have needs. And the House of Charity, with this responsibility, really try to take care of the needs of these people. The theme for this year is Changing Lives. And that is because that's what the House of Charity do among our people who are going through a hard time in life. What is the House of Charity responsible for? First and foremost, education. Education is the most important part of the church. Was then, is now, and will continue. Go and teach all nations. So the church has to be responsible for the priest of tomorrow. And the House of Charity take care of that by really educating our seminarians who are studying to be a priest. I always pray that that list will not come smaller and smaller. Those priests are going to be their future priests who are going to take care of this commons. And so the diocese will pick up the tab from their seminary where they are, whether in Washington, whether at St. Charles, wherever they are, in Maryland, wherever they are, and try to help these young people to be formed to be tomorrow leaders. The house is also responsible of the education of our deacons. Many of you think that the deacons, you know, the bishop said, you are a deacon and ordained. There are 6 years of preparation. And during the 6 years of preparation, there are speakers, there are things that they have to need. And so the bishop takes the House of Charity responsibility to be after them. The House of Charity is also responsible of our youth. That's why the House of Charity look at Rowan and look at other university and make sure a chaplain is assigned. In our case, Rowan, we have Saint Bridget assigned to people there to have masses, counseling, spiritual directing, and also encourage young people to the priesthood, especially, and to religious life. The House of Charity also is responsible of all the people that we have in our diocese, who because of different situation in life, they are asking the church to help them, like for example the immigrants. And all of us know that your fathers, your forefathers, or your grandfathers, they came from overseas to find in this country the dream of their lives, to find work. And we need to help them. He assigned priests to go on the fields, to say Mass for them, especially the Hispanics, and also those who are of different language, to give them churches like we give them in Woodland and also Transfiguration, so that they begin to form a community, and in the language they become to feel also the presence of God as they have at home and they make here at home. The House of Charity is responsible for the counseling that it gives to many of our people, whether it is in marriage life, whether it is drug or alcohol. All over the diocese there are these centers where the House of Charity bring professional people to counsel these people so that they will change their ways, because they don't have money to spend hundreds of dollars in the hands of other professional people. The House of Charity is responsible also of our nursing homes. Many of you say nursing home. You know, St. Mary, I have my mother on the list, never sent for me. Of course not. Because, as you know, we are becoming older generation today. There are less births. That's what I'm telling you. When we don't have families with 2 or 3 or 4 kids, not only society will suffer, but even the church suffers. Because there is no one to take care of our elderly. We become older, we are living longer, and there is small generation to take care of our young. And so we are on the list. We have 4 nursing homes in our diocese, and all of them are waiting and trying to do the best they can to meet the needs of our diocese. The chaplains that are assigned to this nursing home, the chaplain that they come to see you at the hospital, his salary, his monthly salary, come from the House of Charity. The diocese is responsible to the House of Charity for many other areas in the diocese. For example, the priests who have served you for 40, 50 years, now they are at Sacred Heart or St. John Vianney Home, and they are waiting for the House of Charity to put a meal for them a day on the table, There is so a room where they can have their golden days taken care of. They have given their life to the diocese. In return, the diocese has to take care of them. There are other priests who are in ministry who, because they feel sick, and believe me, you get sick very fast in the parish. You know, young people today, more than 3 pastors right now, are on leave of absence. It's too much to carry, it's too much the responsibility. You have too much going, coming, you know, to pay them little they give. And sometimes they don't really get to you. And the diocese has to pay for their recovery. They send them to different parts of the country, and there they recover, and the diocese have to support them. So the diocese, through the House of Charity, is responsible for many, many, many areas, especially, and this I left it for the end because it is very important. Remember that there are parishes in our diocese who cannot pay their bill of electric and gas or oil, especially in those depressed areas like Pleasantville, Camden, even Millwood. And the diocese, through the House of Charity, reach out to them and give them money for interparochial recording. My dear people, the responsibility of the House of Charity comes to 7.5 million. That's how much money they need in order to meet the needs of these people whom I just mentioned. Our parish has been assessed for 114,700. Many of you say, oh, for many it's all. For me, it's like a drop in the bucket. For all the people we have registered with us, remember we cover Magnolia, Barrington, and Belmont. I am not talking about, you know, three streets here. And if everyone say to yourself, God bless me so much. Now from what God bless me, let me look at my neighbor, whether he is in Camden or in Pleasantville or Atlantic City, whatever it is, and he is asking me as a church to reach out to him. So from what I receive, I turn in return, I bless other people and change their lives. If we take it very seriously, not the goal we'll make more than the goal. Sometimes, you know, I wonder, and if I am not correct, after Mass, please tell me. We are so much generous to put our hand in the pocket. I'm not saying that you don't do it. For Katrina, for the tsunami, and we take care of our own people. And many times it applies to America. We are more concerned about those people and those people. I don't want to mention no names. And we have people in our own home dying of starvation. 1 out of 4 people in our country go to bed hungry. Do you know that? And those people belong also to our diocese. Many people complain, well, you know, I am fixed income. Well, you know, I don't know, I don't have a job. Well, you know, who is going to tell you that tomorrow you're going to be here? But what God gave you today is for you, of course, because He wants to bless you. But why don't bless somebody else and change some people's life? At this time, I ask you to pass those cards that you have in the pew, plus the pencils. Pass them to each other, please. And I ask you to really pray before you take that pencil in your hand and begin writing, to say, Lord, what do you want me to do? Because this is a faith given. And then you have pledges that you can do on 10 monthly. That means 10 months. A pledge that goes to 10 months. Or you give right away a gift. Or you tell me that you are thinking about it. Or you tell me that you already donate through me by the letter that I sent. Dear people, I ask you to do the best you can, because there are people waiting for you, waiting for your big heart that you have. And I hope and pray that with me you share this responsibility.